Hello everyone! Last time we entered the Wellspring of Life and defended the brand new world tree Amirdrassil from Fyrak and the Shadow Flame. The Primal Incarnate's flame sizzles out, while our focus is drawn to the aspect's re-empowerment and coming together as a family. We can talk to them before venturing out into the world and witness our hard work pay off. Abyssian says, "I do not celebrate the loss of life, but Fyrak could not be allowed to continue the legacy of Shadowflame's destruction. He was too far gone to save." Strange though, when he fell, it was as if the embers of his rage were carried off by the wind. Perhaps he at last joined the elements that imbued him. We spoke about Smolderon's demise and the possibility that we killed him in the domain of the Firelands, which would mean his true demise and the possibility for a new Firelord to rise up. I really liked Fyrak as a character, and while some worried that he might take Shadowflame with him into the elemental plane of fire, I'd say that could make the place look so much better, and the infusion of the void into the elemental plane could lead to some interesting stories. Viranov goes into a relation with Fyrak. I wish he had not come to this. My brother Fyrak was always impetuous, as chaotic as the flames he embraced. Our cause was just, mortal, but Fyrak lost sight of it and of himself. As for Iridacron, I do not know where he is gone, only that he has shown he cared little for the fate of his brother or my own. I do not know what the future holds, but Alexstrasza is willing to listen. It is all that I ask. We spoke about Viranov in the deep dive of this cutscene, but in case you missed it, I'm not sure what happened to Viranov. I think she is a new aspect, but what that means is still up in the air. Is it just a power-up? Does she have a domain to protect? Has she become part of Team Order? And how does that relate to her entire backstory? Questions to be answered, questions that I hope to address when we finish rebuilding Keeper Tier. And as for Iridacron, there is going to be an epilogue chapter of the Dragonflight story. There's going to be a patch, there's going to be a part which is going to lead this expansion into the next one. And I imagine that Iridacron is going to have a part to play. Then there's Dormu. I remember when we blessed Nordrassil long ago. It was meant to be protection, to keep anyone from tampering with the new Well of Eternity. This tree feels different. A haven, not a ward. I'm glad I survived to see it bloom. Kalecgos felt like he had his aspectral powers for only a breath or two before he gave them without reservation to stop Deathwing's destructive onslaught. I scarcely missed them. How could I? I barely knew what they were, but now I have the opportunity to learn and grow. Thanks to you. Marifra. Amirdrassil. I was not there when my mother blessed Nordrassil and bound it to the dream of the Dwarf the Ancients. To witness this moment is blessing enough, but to receive the gifts of the world, my friends, I cannot thank you enough. This would not have been possible without you. And then Alexstrasza says that she did not expect to see their aspectal powers returned in this matter. Not so long ago, Fendrel asked them to bless Teldrassil, as they had Nordrassil long ago. It was a selfish request, born not of a desire to protect or serve, but simply to live forever. And so they refused. We did not fight to protect Amirdrassil for power. We did, as we have always done, fought to protect our world, and the world in turn offered us means to protect it. Long story short, the aspects are back, baby. Now empowered by Azeroth. How it is different from the Titan's magic, only time is gonna tell. Right now, we can see that Amirdrassil has stepped out of the dream into the physical realm, which, regardless of opinion on the location, it finally does show what the Emerald Dream can do. We've always been told that the Emerald Dream can navigate and manipulate the flora and fauna on Azeroth. Now we get to see that happen in real time. The transfer is magical in nature, but it did create somewhat of a shockwave, so the aspects asks us to make sure our friends and allies are okay. The storylines that we played through during Dragonflight are not forgotten about. The Centaur will hunt as there's a feast to prepare. The catalogers take their very first photos of a brand new world tree. The Gnoll Monarch can smell the life emanating from the tree, but they know that Rot also likes life trees. Wrath Eye, the Deck Triarch that got away at the end of Brackenite Hollow Dungeon. They're not forgotten about. The Furbolg gaze upon the newly spawned world tree and drop some secret dialogue for those that learn their language. And finally, Skeps and the Tusker. They let us know that they were pushed here when the tree came through. I can only imagine what it must have been like on Azeroth's side. And while the tree is a majestic sight for all gathered, it means so much more for the Night Elves. A storyline that started all the way back in Battle for Azeroth with the burning of Teldrassil is now, after 5 years and 3 expansions, finally coming to its conclusion. Just a few more final steps, like ensuring its roots are bathed in the waters of Elune by creating a brand new moonwell. So many of their people have brought us to this moment, and each should have a part in this dedication. Some of them have brought offerings for the ceremony, and Night Elf players out there, you'll get a chance to offer something yourself. So a lot of names have gathered here to witness this moment. Let's go through the list. There's Tyrande Whisperwind, leader of the Night Elves, and so much more. Moon Priestess Lazada, Quartermaster in Darnassus, survived the burning of Yggdrasil and been with our fighting forces ever since. Priestess Elinia, a survivor of Darkshore. Priestess Kailin Ildener, quest giver to New Draenei on Azure Mist Isle. Ballista Starbreeze, connected to the Scythe of Elune and the Worgen curse that came after. Present in Yggdrasil during the burning, refusing to leave without her child Ysera. Delaryn Summermoon, Sentinel, who died trying to defend Yggdrasil from the flames. Raised in undeath, she became an enemy to her former allies, but eventually swapped sides. Coda Steelclaw, Archdruid of the Claw, our ally during Legion of Ysera. Skylord Omnuron, leader of the Druids of the Talon, connected to the mysteries of flight. Tissley Crow, first found with the Druids of the Talon during Cataclysm. You might remember the Interrogation of Harpy's questline, after which she would play a role in a lot of expansions, like Legion, where she became a follower for Order Hall. Leia Stonepaw, mistress of the Druids of the Claw. Brawl Baremantle, legendary druid on the level of someone like Malfurion. A Malfurion who is sadly absent for this moment. Renzar Greathoof, Archdruid of the Dreamweavers and the Dreamgrove, our Druidic Order Hall back during Legion. Layessa Bloomwatcher, watched over the Druidic Legion artifact Gahanir the Mother Tree. Commander Merilith, old school commander of the Cenarian Circle in Silithus, where we fought a war against Gafoon and Ankiraj. Archmage Mordant Evenshade, responsible for reintroducing the Highborn back into Night Elven society, and was nearly murdered by Maiev. Altruist the Sufferer has sacrificed everything by embracing the path of a demon hunter to defend the world against the Burning Legion. Delos Moonfang, once a priestess turned paladin of the Silver Hand in Legion. That's right, Night Elf paladins are a thing. Cerulean Whiteclaw, old school classic quest giver, who asked adventurers to bring peace to the spirits of his beloved Anaya, while Grimclaw has been his companion since the Cataclysm. Warden Maiev Shadowsong, leader of the Watchers, and so much more. Warden Merrin Bladewing serves under Maiev, been with us in the Firelands, Alternate Draenor, Legion, and the Battle for Darkshore. Warden Adrenalim Whisperwind serves under Maiev, been with us in Alternate Draenor, during Legion, and the Battle for Darkshore. While she has the same last name, there's no confirmed kinship with Tyrande. And then Warden Mirana Starlight serves under Maiev, been with us in Alternate Draenor, during Legion, and the Battle for Darkshore. Jared Shadowsong, brother of Maiev, commander of the Elves during the War of the Ancients, helped us bring back the Ancients during the Cataclysm, fought with us against the Legion in Legion, and during the Battle for Darkshore. Greniel and Solaris Torngale, Druids of the Flame that signed up with them out of desperation, as after the burning of Yggdrasil, they lost the connection to nature, could only conjure fire. It was Solaris' constant questioning of their orders that allowed them to open their eyes, and eventually turn away. Chandris Feathermoon, daughter of Tyrande and Malfurion, after she was adopted during the War of the Ancients, general of the Sentinel Army. Miara Nightsong used to be called Sunsong, but the captain of the Darnassian army changed the name following the burning of Yggdrasil. Rianne Wolfrunner, old school quest giver in Ashenvale, that joined hunters in their order hall during Legion. Sentinel Cordressa Briarbow was a sentinel following the orders of Chandris to try and save the people from the Horde, and then fought in the Battle for Darkshore. Lysander and Arconar Starshade are siblings, Lysander being a Night Elf mage, while his sister joined Maiev as a warden. You might remember saving her from Jadenar in Classic, and they quite recently played a part in the Night Elf Heritage Armor questline. Quite a list of names, and of course we can't dive in all the little details in this video. Now we do have offerings to be added to the ritual. We have Delaryn Summermoon, who offers the druidic talisman that once belonged to her beloved Varin. The druidic elf was slain by Saurfang during the War of the Thorns, the Horde's invasion into Darkshore. Some part of her knew that he was gone, of course, but as long as she carried his talisman, she carried the hope that they would be reunited. Hope gives us strength even in our darkest hours. May Amirdrassil continue to inspire us all. Renzar Greathoof, our people have suffered much, yet they have shown courage in the face of adversity time and again. Please take this soil from the Dream Grove. It's a reminder of the courage displayed when we fought back the nightmare for the dream not so long ago. We have never faltered, and never will. May Amirdrassil taste of that courage and grow stronger still. If we can have courage to face the nightmare, we can have courage to face our future. Cerulean Whiteclaw's offering is the pendant of his beloved Anaya Dawnrunner. I've lost many close to me over my lifetime, but none so painful as my greatest love. I cannot be reunited with her here, but perhaps her spirits can live on. A beacon of love for the Kaldori. And at last, Moon Priestess Lazara. My offering is a tabard from Darnassus, a symbol of our people's devotion and our strength. It is one of the few things I was able to save from our home. I have many fond memories of passing tabards like this to Kaldori, young and old alike, and of seeing its colors drape proudly over our devoted allies as well. These memories should live on here, with this moonwell. With these offerings and water from the Well of Eternity, we have all that we need. Speak to me when you're ready to begin the ritual, and this is where I set up a little bit, realizing that moonwells contain water from the Well of Eternity. This is Ye Olden lore, Warcraft 3 manual lore, but also remembered by Archmage Mordant Evenshade. As they had just come out of exile, they looked at the moonwell and they sighed. Take your gaze off the moonwell, exile, Sentinel Steelbow says. The power within is not yours to wield. Calm yourself, Sentinel. I do not seek to use it. I'm merely remembering. Recalling your treachery? Enough. I've been apart from this for centuries. The well within this temple may be a pale specter of the Well of Eternity, but it still holds the same beauty, the same purity.
Children of the stars, it has been a long journey to this moment. Our people have fought, suffered, and sacrificed so much. And yet here, in the shade of Amirdrassil's young boughs, we may at last begin to heal. Unto the souls who now watch over this sacred place, we offer our blessings. Symbols of dedication, strength, and love. Unto this moonwell, we offer this precious vial, the last water saved from the temple of Darnassus. May they bathe Amirdrassil in Elun's radiance and bestow her blessings upon this place, Bel Ameth, the arms of the goddess. In her embrace, may the Kaldori finally know peace. Elun Adore.
It is party time, everybody. Let's grab some drinks, or serve some drinks as we're being put to work, and check on some of the people that have showed up. We also have the Spriggans causing all kinds of problems, like telling horrific druid jokes. Suffer with me now. I mean, let's enjoy the party. What do you call a pile of feral druids? A Meowton. The skill commanders of the Dragfear are standing together. Azuratel could not see family or future beyond his own Wern before stasis, and that was all he needed. Honor and duty mean nothing without a cause to apply them to. These people and these dragons, they're more than I had the ability to dream of during my training, and I shall protect them to my very end. Cindertrash was finally able to show themselves to Viridia. This version of me, you know what she did when she saw me? She gave me a hug. Can you believe it? A hug with both arms and wings. I once watched her rip a wyvern stinger out of a soldier's chest without so much as batting an eye. I hope I can talk her into sticking around. And Viridia adds, Cindertrash would like me to go with him, but I've already seen too much and not enough. This world is in pain, and her people are in pain. As long as there are people in need of healing and relief, I will be there to bring it. And then Dervishon rounded up with, you are looking at the newest diplomat for the Alliance. Traveling, talking to new people, avoiding opening doors with ancient enemies behind them. That sort of thing. I am so excited. But where did the druid sleep while in Vashir? With the fishes. Cenarius is standing with her children, Remulus, Ordanus, and also Larodar, which I'm pretty sure we just killed during the raid. I do need to make a minor correction from the raid video, by the way. I described taking out the council as killing them at the same time, but we knocked them out unconscious at the same time. Now, in the case of Larodar, I'm pretty sure that he says something like reborn in flame and that he actually dies. But maybe we're able to quickly get him back. Who knows? Well, what I do know is that a bear, a raven, and a stag walked into a bar. She says, I'll have a drink. Shapeshifting is hard work. Get it? Delaryn Summermoon has to stay a while and listen. My heart may be cold, but the sight of Amirdrassil, for a moment I felt warm. I only wish Fyrin were here to see this. And a little wisp shows up. Fyrin. Delaryn smiles wishfully, a single tear trailing down her pallid cheek. Her mind turned to Fyrin in her final moments, and the spirit of her beloved made the choice to join the others in this seed, to join them in the renewal for their people. Now Chandris stands with those who have walked on the darker side of things. She may never fully understand why these Kaldorei chose such a desperate path, but she wants to try. They should be heard. None of our people should suffer. And speaking of suffering, how does a druid cut his hair? Eclipse it! Chef Butterfingers has developed a little escargot recipe while within the Zarlek Caverns. Bit disturbing considering, how the snails are also companions and racers. Some of you imagined that the losers get eaten, which honestly makes it worth it to keep up with Twitter. Chromie stands back with the Time Walkers. The tree is safe, and so is Lord Nosdormu. And we have our aspects back. See, I just knew it would all work out. Did I see the future? Chromie winks at you. Well, that would be telling. Go and enjoy the party. We'll be meeting again. Well, you'll see. And so Dormi lays down a future. The timeways have been so clouded, and so much been uncertain. But here and now, I can see clearly. This tree has a great future ahead of it. As do you. For all you've done for my flight, you have my thanks. But, why were the Gilnean druids so sleepy? They were working too hard. The centaur Chimmy sits at the edge of the party, with Tavon at their side. The celebration is a little bit loud, but I'm okay. I'm happy for everyone. Jimmy was a survivor, one of the few that survived their clan's destruction at the hands of the Nokut. It is one of those examples in which the quality of the side quest it just blows the main story out of the water. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out Tavon's quest within the Onaran Plains. And another cool detail, which I didn't pick up during the celebration, but it was pointed out on Twitter, is that Sanso Khan, they can now do ASL, American Sign Language. They've managed to get the model to move in such a way that they're able to sign. Okier vocalizes. The Shikar are proud to have supplied the games for the table, and prouder still of our courageous brethren. We have overcome great challenges since the dragons returned, many thanks to your help. Know that you will always be welcome at our fires or on our hunts, wherever they may be. And speaking of overcoming challenges, when do the Hosen visit the physician? When they aren't peeling well? Kwanzu, Loa of Chains says, "Greetings, mighty champion. It seems we all have our new world tree, and Azeroth claims victory once again. All hail goodness, all hail order." Kwanzu cocks their head sarcastically. In the end, it matters not who won. You have changed, the dream has changed, Azeroth has changed, as all things must. I haven't found a clear answer as to who or what Kwanzu is. My current speculation is that it's a creature of the domain of life that has hopped over into the order domain of the Emerald Dream, but that's pure speculation. What's not speculation is the question, how do you fish without a fishing rod? With your bare hands. Hamurun Totem stands with many druids of legends, but there's a mistake in their dialogue. I remember when the Tauren were first allowed to join the Cenarian Circle. Little did we know then that there were far more druids in the world than just the Tarahi and the Kaldorei. I believe this is the first we've all been together under a banner of peace. We have much to learn from each other. Tarauhi, if I pronounce it right, is the language of the Tauren. What he's supposed to say is Shuhalo. But what did the druid in aquatic form say to his friends? Catch you on the flipper side! That was the last one, don't worry about it. Now Jaina mentions that she spent many years searching for peace between the factions. Today, it feels as perhaps they've accomplished it. For now, I only hope that this unity lasts, which felt a little bit off, considering we've been at somewhat of a peace for the last 5 years now. At the same time, the last time that Thrall visited Tyrande in the forest, he quickly had to leave and promised that he was going to return with Sylvanas' head. So perhaps there is something to be said for it. All the same, the entire world of Azeroth, the entire internet has been wondering, what is up with Kalecgos and Jaina? Are they still together?
Jaina.
Kalec! I'm sorry I haven't reached out sooner.
Not to worry. You've been more than a little busy, reuniting your family and serving Koltiris as Lord Admiral.
What about you? You have your aspectral powers again. And you brought the blues home, Kalec. I know how much that meant to you.
I think we both needed to make a journey, just not together.
And that's all right.
It is. Do you have some time? I'd like you to meet some friends of mine. But I must warn you, they'll probably insist that you try their soup. And they like to use eel guts.
I'm Coltirin, remember? I grew up on eel liver soup. It sounds wonderful.
Raytheon seems to have dropped the title Black Prince, now that they've picked Ebonhorn as the new aspect. I am admittedly young, but I feel my journey has already come so far. And yet, so much still lies ahead of me. I thought being an aspect was my destiny, but you have helped me see it so much more than that. I do not know where this path will take me, but I hope that you will join me on the journey every now and again, so hopefully it's not the end of Raytheon's adventures. Daniels Dormo. They're relieved to see the time waste so clearly after so long. I'm no longer afraid for my future, or the future of my flight. Chromie has reminded me of what it means to be the steward to the paths of time. Of course, she credits you for everything. I can see the truth in that as well.
Do you ever think back to the time before the Sundering, Alexstrasza? When the world was whole?
I remember a time like now, when night elves and dragons lived and fought side by side.
But we faltered from within. The world itself was rent asunder.
And yet, we endured.
Through thousands of years and unspeakable tragedies, the Well of Eternity, the Legion at Amirdrassil.
Deathwing.
Yet this precious tree, Amirdrassil, has brought us together. And when I look upon the faces of those who have risen to its aid, both old and new, I see something returning that we had lost.
Yes. Hope.
Unity. Though there is much work to be done, I know we have the strength to face anything if we face it together.
Hold each other close, everybody. What comes next will require the greatest of strengths. It is time to say goodbye to Ysera.
I am so grateful we had this time together.
My beloved friends. With the aid of those gathered here, Amirdrassil blossoms all around us. Do you remember when you first held its seed in your arms, Tyrande?
Of course. I cradled it as I would a child, and promised the souls within to honor their sacrifice.
And I swore to you I would do everything in my power to protect it. We have both kept our vows. It is time I return to Ardenweald to restore the balance and repay a debt to an old friend.
Mother, I thought you came back to ensure that I would...
My precious child, you are strong, compassionate, and wise. And you have become the leader I knew you would. You did not need me to guide you.
Mother, I will always need you.
I shall not be far. I am so proud of you, my heart. Remember, all time is borrowed, and in this, there is beauty. All is well.
Malfurion doesn't immediately pop out of the portal, but I imagine that with Ysera back in Ardenweald, the Archdruids should be able to return, perhaps play a part in rebuilding their civilization around the tree. It's definitely been a choice to remove him from the story, from the defense of Amirdrassil, in exchange for Ysera, who hasn't really played a critical role, and I really wonder why that choice was made. Either way, Alexstrasza said that as Amirdrassil blooms into Azeroth beyond the dream, my sister takes on the mantle of a new aspect. I wondered who she was talking about here. Ysera is her sister, but not an aspect. Marifra is an aspect, but not her sister. Viranov could be considered somewhat of a sister, and perhaps they have been empowered into the role of aspect. But it still leaves the question, the aspect of what? Something that hopefully time's gonna tell. A brand new future awaits, not just for the Night Elves, but for all of Azeroth. You might have seen their presentation at BlizzCon. If not, don't worry, they can already sense the next expansion approaching.
Well, old friend, it felt good to share a cause and fight side by side once more.
Yes, it did. Like on Mount Hyjal, all those years ago.
But thank the light, this world tree did not fall.
Jaina, when Amirdrassil took root on Azeroth, for a moment it was as if... like there was...
A voice? I heard it too.
Good. I didn't imagine it.
So beautiful. Like a song. It seemed to be calling out to me.
Could it be the voice of the World Tree?
I don't think so. It sounded far more ancient. I'm not sure how I know that. It's just a feeling.
If we both heard it, felt it, maybe others did too.
Perhaps. But let's leave that investigation for another day. Tonight, we celebrate our victory.
All of us. Together.
Together.
The voice of Azeroth is calling out to them, to many across the world. But not all is beautiful and singing. Khadgar seems a little bit troubled, so we bring him a drink and we hear him out.
Remain. Hello, champion. I trust you are enjoying this well-deserved moment of celebration. It was heartening to see members of the Alliance and Horde fighting side by side for a shared cause. After the dark days of the Fourth War, I feared it would never happen again. Yet even as we relish the victory over Fyrak and welcome the birth of a new world tree, members of the Kirin Tor have brought me troubling reports. Something is moving in the shadows. An ancient enemy stirs, incited by some harbinger with whom Aridokron has dark dealings. How these forces are connected, and what they're after, I cannot say. But I've spoken with an old friend who's going to investigate. If what I suspect is truly coming to pass, Azeroth will soon need you to defend her once again. Enough of my rumination. Please, return to the gathering. And let Kalecgos know he doesn't need to worry about me.
Aridokron is in league with Zolotov, and they're dealing with the darker side of the story with the Void. An old friend had some wonder if Khadgar was talking about Medivh, but most likely he's just talking about Illyria. She is part of the intro cutscene and goes way back with him, way back to the days of the First Alliance and the Sons of Lothar. An epic battle between light and darkness. A battle for the fate of Azeroth itself looms on the horizon. But for now, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. Leave a like or dislike, depending on how you feel. And until next time, see ya!